What is up, FGO fans? How's it going? Typically, I would be thinking to myself, good morning to you. Might even say it in these videos, but it is 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday night here on the East Coast in US. However, it doesn't matter. We got a new servant. We actually have 2 of them for Summer 7. Once again, this is Summer Utsumi. Next video coming out will be Summer Ibuki. And that's, I'm going to have to pick which of her Ascension arts to show. I picked this one though for Utsumi here. I think it's great. I am biased in her favor anyway, just because of Requiem, but regardless, before I start jabbering on, let's get comfortable, get introed, and get ready to take a look at her kit. So this is Summer Utsumi. One thing that needs to stand out to you immediately, this is not uncommon for her class, but it is nice to see the scaling hold true here. Attack over HP scaling. She is an Avenger class. That's very nice to see. Double arts, double quick deck. She does have 3 hits on her arts card, 4 hits on her quick card, 5 hits on her extra. Her star gen is not going to be a thing for you, which is not great because of something on her 3rd skill. We'll talk about that later. And her NP gain is also going to be a consideration that you will need to keep in mind. So down here on her 1st skill, Evil Spirit Medium A, it's arts up 20-30%, 6 turn cooldown, not bad. 2 timer with 3 turn evade. Again, not bad. This is just a solid 4-star skill. It's a solid 4-star skill. It doesn't change the game, but it's nice and it's good to have, and you'll use it, and that's about all you can really ask for, honestly. Over here on this 2nd skill, I really like the icon that goes with this. That's not really related to anything, but I do like that. It is related to what goes into her skill, though. A 6-turn cooldown comes with all of this. A 1000 curse for 3 turns, all enemies. That's really nice. Not to mention a taunt for 1 turn. And when she takes hits, she is going to apply defense down by 10% on her enemy. Everything I just said does not scale with level. That's good. We like that. That's really player friendly. The more effects you can get by just unlocking the skill, the better. The thing that does scale with level, which is nice to see regardless, her NP battery, 20-30%, 20% at 8 turn cooldown, 30% at 6 turn cooldown. That's pretty solid. Obviously jives well with a 2nd append skill, but especially on an arts single target servant, that's really, really nice to see, because you're gonna need every single conservation of other support batteries that you can get when it comes to her. So that plus her 2nd append plus a starting charge CE is going to be good right out of the box for you. But if you have other supporters who are going to be giving her charge, saves their charge, and you're going to need it. You're going to need it. It wouldn't be Utsumi if we didn't have death involved. So this is a death chance up 3rd skill, 60% to 120%, 6 turn cooldown. Really nice to see that. Critical damage up for herself for 3 turns. It's 25 to 35%. It's also got a 0% chance of being effective for you at all, unless you are giving her stars from someone or somewhere else, or I should say you are directing those stars to her. Her star weight is 29. Her star gen is at 6. Like, I am not upset that there is a critical damage up here, but like, don't let it fool you. You are going to need a lot of help to make that matter. She also has a special damage up versus servants, 3 turns, 25 to 35%. That's really, really, really big, because as we can see on her NP here, the synergy with that 3rd skill is immaculate here. I love how much synergy they've been including in Servant's Kit as of late. This continues that trend. It's arts up 10 to 30% based on the overcharge. That's fine, whatever. Jives with the 1st skill, adds on to it, makes it a little bit easier to loop, no problem at all. She deals super effective damage of 150% against those with curse debuff. 900 to 1500% scaling arts NP damage otherwise. She also has an 80% chance to apply death on 1 enemy. 80% chance to apply death on her NP, and 120% chance on her 3rd skill. She is going to kill things. She is going to kill things. And that's great. That's what she wants to do. That's what she wants to do. One thing to note though, you may have been keeping track. We had arts up on the 1st skill. We have it on this NP. We have defense down on the 2nd skill. That technically counts as attack up in the game's damage algorithm. However, remember, she has to take damage first from the enemy that she's going to attack in order for that to proc. Here on this NP, we have the super effective damage, and then on the 3rd skill, we have the anti-servant. 4 aspects of multiplicative damage as we bring up our handy dandy multiplicative chart here. And about 35% of my community just absolutely needs to change their pants right now. But We do have all 4 aspects of multiplicative damage here. She has attack up via the defense down on her second skill. She has arts up. Those are nice together, but she keeps going with the anti-servant type 3 buff and the anti-cursed debuff. Super effective mod on the type 4. That's really, really, really nice to see. It's really rare to get servants who have all 4 aspects of multiplicative damage just built into their kit. It's not unheard of by any means. It's nice to see, but it is rare. So very, very nice to see that she fills out all aspects of this chart. Now, one other thing to note here, her NP gain on attack is 0.53%. Now, my community and I recently developed something we call an NPLF, an NP looping factor calculation, and it gives us an initial snapshot of how easily or not a servant is going to loop right out of the box. It doesn't take into account their buffs, doesn't take into account the enemies. It just gives us a quick determination of whether or not this servant is going to be able to loop easily or close to it, or is going to need a lot of help, or is just not going to loop at all, right? When we ran our NPLF calculation with her, she comes out to a negative number, which is not good. If you could give her Castoria and Lady Avalon in a boss fight, you are going to have a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of fun. Because we talked about that 3rd skill not having a lot of access to real critical damage chance. Like, it has 25 to 35% critical damage on it, but she's not going to make stars for herself, and she's not going to be able to gather those stars anyway. So if you can run that comp, you're going to get a great deal of attack up. You're going to get the arts up. You're going to get the NP gain. You're also going to get some pretty good star capability from Lady Avalon as well, not to mention the arts up. All of it jives really nicely together. I'm not sure it's a coincidence that Lady Avalon and Utsumi are in the same summer event with banners right next to each other. I'm not sure that's a coincidence because they do jive incredibly well. They have very, very, very good synergy with one another. If you are taking Utsumi into a single target boss fight against a servant who can be debuffed with curse, if you bring along a Lady Avalon or even 2, you're gonna win. Like, you're gonna win. I'm sorry. You're absolutely gonna win. Roll or don't roll. I'm not telling you whether or not to, but like, you're gonna win. Over here on her passives, she does have some interesting passives. One, it's really impressive, honestly. But the first one we'll take a look at is this Avenger one. She has increased NP gain when taking damage. That's phenomenal because of the fact that 1, this is a fairly high number, but 2, she has a taunt. She has a taunt and she has an evade, and she synergizes well with servants who can protect her, a la Castoria and Lady Avalon. She also has critical damage and quick up and damage plus and critical damage up again, and that's all fine. That's all well and fine. But she also has this right here. This is really nice to see. She's gonna gain 4% NP per turn, just because. Love that. Love it. On an arts servant, that is invaluable. On an arts single target servant, that is even more invaluable. Love to see that. Any amount of extra NP gauge that they can get is going to be phenomenal because they're going to be your designated DPS in these kinds of boss fights. And she is arts. You want her NP as much as possible. This is going to help. Over here on her Appends, it's pretty standard, right? So Anti-Lancer is not anything you're actually going to seek to use. However, because of the fact that she has class neutrality in most of her fights anyway, and she has extra damage against servants, there are honestly legitimate times where you're gonna look to use this Anti-Lancer Append. I could definitely see a player justifying unlocking all 3 of these. Extra attack boost is gonna be nice against single target, potential for break bar fights or boss fights in general. Anti-Lancer is that's something you could use as a general boss killing servant that she could end up being for you. And then the mono-loading jives really, really nicely with her second skill, which was that 20 to 30% NP battery. So 20% on this, 20 to 30% on her second skill. That's a pretty good kit, honestly. It's got a lot of potential, Over on her traits, there's not really anything super remarkable. She's a child servant, she's living human. That could be something interesting to play with some certain comps. Obviously, it jives well with Voyager, but there are also some other servants, some very recent. Over here on her materials, this isn't uncommon for extra classes, especially Avengers, but this is nice. There's nothing here that's outrageous, nothing at all. We don't have a Summer Garrett situation, but all of these are fine. There's nothing here that stands out as like, that's terrible, that's way too many, and that is par for the course for most extra class servants, but especially for foreigner classes. If any of you got Coin Sky of Darkness on your GSSR or your rolls last New Year's, you probably recall having a decently easy time getting her skills up. This is going to hold true for Summer Utsumi as well. Even down here on her Appends, it's just not bad. Again, we expect that from extra classes, we expect that from Avengers, but it's nice to see it in action, so nothing bad about any of these materials. Over here in her Bond CE, it's something about sewing. I don't know the entire translation, but it's something about sewing, or puppets or something, and she likes churros, which grade A in my book. However, on the effect here, it's not really going to be something that you're going to take to a lot of fights. She does have special damage up versus those who can be cursed. It's 20%. She is looking to get her NP going as often as possible. Let's not mince words here. So I like this, but it's going to be like a placeholder CE. It's probably going to sit there and collect dust, let's be honest. Still, if you're really looking to exploit some curse memes, maybe you can take this along in the future after you unlock it. But until then, there's not really going to be a need to rush to unlock it. There are times where I would recommend backlining someone during lottery to get their Bond CE. This is not one of those times, and that's okay. That's okay. All in all, we do have a fun Summer Servant, Summer Utsumi. I am biased because I like Fate Requiem. I like her backstory. I like her character. But I like this kit too. This is a 4-star servant who fits the bill. She's good. I honestly don't really find anything about her kit that I see as wanting. The NP gain is going to catch some masters off guard, maybe some casual players who maybe they don't have like the right supports going into a battle, and they use her and then they wonder how they're going to get her next NP fired off in a reasonably quick fashion. That being said, I don't think it's a make or break type of thing. She's got a solid kit. It synergizes very nicely with itself, not just the death proccing after attack, which... sorry, Lancer version, but it's great to see that here. But also the fact that she has access to so much multiplicative damage. There are very few servants who can just give themselves all 4 aspects of multiplicative damage. I don't want to make multiplicative damage sound like the end-all be-all gospel Bible of whether or not to roll for a servant or whether or not they are going to do real damage, but it definitely helps. There's no argument there. It definitely helps them do damage, and so it's something to take into consideration, especially on an extra class servant like this. Pretty solid, pretty good. I am gonna roll for her myself. I'm not gonna lie. It'd be cool to get her at NP2 and be able to trot into some boss fights and have some fun in that regard. Even without that, though, she's fine at NP1. She really is going to be fine at NP1. She has a lot of steroids. She jives well with some meta supports, and her skills are nice, especially the death one. If you can make use of that on either the final bar of an enemy or on a non-break bar enemy, you might be impressed at what she's going to be able to pull off from the death perspective. That being said, if you roll for her, good luck. Have fun with her. If you do get her, I hope you're having fun with the Summer 7 event. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the sub button. You'll get all the notifications for these videos. I do them on all new servants. I love doing these videos. And I do them because they help you, in addition to me getting to geek out and look at FGO servants as soon as they come out. Because honestly, what could be more exciting as a gacha gamer than looking at what's going to bankrupt you? So anyway, good luck on your rolls. I'm supposed to mention LB6. I get flack for mentioning LB6 in like all my videos. All my servant analysis videos. So hey, LB6, she would be really good in LB6. I'm telling you there, she would be. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This a curse? Oh, she'd be so good at. Oh my God, she would be so good in LB6. Wait. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not gonna go. If some of you know and. Light bulb. Okay, yeah, unironically, she'd be really good in LB6 if you haven't done it yet. Or if a certain fight comes back as a memorial fight. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. Holy shit, dude, that's awesome. Thanks for watching. Bye. Yeah, holy fuck.